Hey, what's up? Okay, so last video we did a amp thing. We talked about how I would set my settings for the amp, and had a few more questions about that. I forgot I had talked about kind of hitting this spot where the amp kind of wakes up, and I don't know if that term is confusing or if that's just something I made up. I don't know. That's what it sounds like to me. So I was going to go through just TELE into the matchless real quick and just kind of show you how I would dial in that sound. And instead of just talking about it, which is what I did in the last video, that was kind of more informative. This time I'll actually show you kind of some examples. I'll just kind of play through some chords, real basic, just, G, C, D, or whatever. And just kind of show you kind of where I would set the amp and kind of where it would live to kind of keep just a kind of a happy medium. Not too bright, not too dark, that kind of nice space to kind of live in with a guitar like this. And then, then I would, add in pedals. But, for now, let's just talk about the amp and kind of where I would set it and just kind of a quick little look at that. So let's see what that looks like. Hey. Okay, so if we're looking at the controls here, I can show you kind of basically what I'm talking about when I say that I want the amp to kind of wake up. So it's just the TELE straight into the matchless. Only pedal on is a little bit of verb. And that's how I would probably set up just like a basic straight into the amp TELE tone for in the studio or even live. So as you can see here, I've got the tone is all the way up. That on the matchless is the full bass response. So as you start turning it, is when you start getting move my mic here. As you start turning it, that's when you get, a couple of clicks down, you start cutting bass. So as you go this way, you cut bass as you click, which is really cool in the studio, because in the studio you often want to remove some of those frequencies. So you can hear it starting to get a little thinner. So, there's times I'm in the studio where I do record way down here. Live I wouldn't do that. Live I live either here or up here. Especially with the TELE, man, sometimes with the TELE you're just trying to get the thing to sound as fat as you can. So my secret with that on these amps is, or with really any Vox style amp, is I run, this tone up here or even back here, and then what I'll do with the cut is I'll start all the way dark. So what that does is that rolls off some of that top end, and then I'll just start backing it up. Until I hear that top end come back. So that'd be like a good, barely dirty TELE tone for in the studio. So that's kind of an example of how that goes. Now, as far as the amp kind of waking up, you can see I've got some settings over here. These are, different points. I have that one mark that I'm playing right now. That's a good, kind of like a little bit dirty, but not crazy dirty TELE tone. Down here, I was tracking a song. That's what the letter P is for. I was tracking a song, and I thought, man, if I need to go back and get my settings, I'll at least have the marking. So, you know, I'll show you that one. So you can see that's not really that cranked up, but you still get, you're still getting a lot of usable tones out of that. And I'll hit that with a boost pedal or some overdrives. Now in the video when I was talking about the amp waking up, I'll show you, kind of demonstrate what I mean. Okay, you can hear the amp. Okay, this would be like level 1. Where the amp, there's no numbers on this amp, so this is like level 1. We're getting some sound, but there's not really any character to that tone. That would be like barely on. It's fine, but it's not inspiring in any way. So if I turn it up just a touch, okay, that's louder. So back down. Barely on. Right. Now somewhere in here, you hear the amp kind of. It's hard to tell when you're not sitting in front of the amp, but basically what I'm listening for is for the cabinet to fill out with bass, response, to kind of get like a body to it. So right here, we're not getting any body. There it is. So once that fills up with body, and you get some character to the tone. Now on this TELE, sometimes I have to roll that tone knob back a little bit on my guitar and cut some tone here, some treble here, to not be so bright. Then you can inch it up. So you can see what I'm doing there. I'm just inching it up until the amp has some character. So nothing. A little bit of body. So it is just the tiniest little difference between those settings. That's why you have to really listen with your ears and don't look so much with your eyes, because these markings, it could look like if you just looked at this amp over here, you'd think it was hardly on, when really it's really giving you some nice big fat tones. So there's a quick example, kind of how I run that. The master over here is always off. Live in the studio, I might use it for something if I have to record really quiet, like we've had to record before, where drums and pianos and things like that were close by and I had to keep it quiet. So if I had to do that, let's see, I'll show you what that would look like. I would try to get as fat as I could. And here's it off. It's just better when it's off. But, I've had to use it. On the back of the amp, there's a switch where you can do like a half power thing, but I have it on high, not low. I have it on high. I keep it on high because I want this thing to be loud and proud, just doing its thing as best as it can. All right, hope that helps. All right, I hope that's helpful. keep sending me the questions and comments and everything. I love that. It's really helpful for me to kind of know what you guys want to hear, what we want to talk about. And I'm enjoying this whole process. This is great. And I'll see you soon.